Hello, happy Tuesday. Welcome to Tech Tuesday. A little bit later than we usually are on schedule, so thanks all for your accommodating and changing the schedule. And hopefully more individuals actually get to see it today. So I just want to say welcome for those of you that are new to our community. We are super happy to have you here. Most every Tuesday we go live, typically around 11:30 a.m. Central Time, barring any scheduling conflicts that I have. But we usually go live in the mornings, and I demonstrate different software, apps, programs that can help you in your business interact with your clients, can help your clients on their journey throughout your business. And as you're developing content for them, it can help make it accessible, make it interactive, and just really overall just increase engagement in your business. So today, actually, I'm going to back up. This month, what we're going to do is we're going to focus all on subtitles and transcriptions. So subtitles have a big place in my heart, which I'll tell you about in a minute. But I thought it was really important this month to spend a little bit of time because, as you know, when we talk about the software, I do quick demos. So this isn't like a tutorial on how, sort of is a tutorial on how to use it, but it's sort of a quick and down and dirty so you can see it and experience it and figure out if it's right for you to add in your business. And I'm going to say everyone should be adding captions in their business. That is a thing. But for other programs that I demo, you know, some of it's going to apply to you, some of it's not. You have to figure out what's right for you and what's not. But captions are so important for so many different reasons. So a little bit more about my story, my journey, and why captions are so near and dear to my heart is I spent the last 21 years, I can still say, I still have all my credentials, I still do it on occasion, as a sign language interpreter. So for 16 years of my career, that's what I spent doing. I owned a sign language interpreter agency as well. So going out and providing services, hiring out other interpreters to provide services to deaf and hard of hearing individuals. And, you know, we've come a long way. And I'll say in the United States, it's great because there's a lot of laws set up for accessibility. And sometimes as small business owners, you think, oh, that doesn't apply to me, or I don't have to worry about it. But it is a thing. It impacts all of your clients, your customers, whether you know it or not. It can really change the experience that they're having. And I'm going to say not, and you're like, Erica, I don't serve deaf and hard of hearing individuals or don't know of any that have come to my door yet. But I'm going to say that it's really when you start creating things that are just universally accessible to anyone, people who can hear can also benefit from things like captions. Think about it like this. So I'm gonna back up and say, I know this is like a different Tech Tuesday than usually because I'm gonna show you the software and how to do it. I promise. But I feel like I have to say a few words on it. So I don't want you to create this because you want to serve everyone else. I want you to decide that you want to put captions on all your videos because you want to make it inclusive for anybody who wants to watch it. But I will tell you, there are some benefits that even if you don't know if deaf people are watching it, that think about when you're probably sitting in bed one evening, scrolling through, maybe under the covers, maybe you can't sleep, and you're looking at all these videos go by on your feed. And the ones that have the captions that come up, you might stop on them and kind of check them out for a minute. Think about older populations that sometimes it's just hard for them to hear. And when they can see the words on the screen, it just adds their experience and it adds to the accessibility that they're going to get, which means more exposure to your product, your program, and your service that you have for your clients. So I want you to put them on there to serve the deaf individuals so they have that equal access. But I'm going to tell you that there's also a lot of other benefits for doing that. Okay, so that's my little soapbox. I don't normally go on one, but again, it's where my heart lies. So if you're catching live, looks like we have a lot of viewers today. Drop a hello down in the chat box for me. If you're catching this in the Facebook group, you'll be able to do that. If you're catching this on one of the other channels that we're streaming to, drop a comment below. We'd love to hear from you. If you're catching the replay, type in #replays. I want to always give a shout out and say hello. So, hey, Leanne, I see you. Yeah, the apps are great. I love them. I just love playing around with them. And then if you know of apps you want me to try or play around with, let me know, send them to me and I'll be happy to do it. But this month's all about captions. And I'm going to show you, there's lots of different platforms out there that do, hey, Nikki. Nikki also does interpreter stuff. So, there's a lot of different platforms that do captions. They all work very similar. So I'm going to show you sort of the preferred one that I like to use, and then I'll talk about a couple other ones. So, hey, Donna, hey, Facebook user, I don't know who you are, but Nikki, I'm so happy I finally see your name because usually I can't see who you are. All right, so this is Happy Scribe. Again, it's my preferred platform of what I use for captions, and I would say that a lot of them are pretty equal. It's just where I happen to go, and I have a package. Oh, hopefully I can get in my account. I have a package, so I actually have several hours a month that I get because I really do try to caption all of my videos. This last month, my videos, it's been a little bit rough. I'm catching up, but in general, I really do try. So I have a package deal. You can pay per video if you like. And I'm going to talk about pricing in just a little bit. So this is sort of the back end of Happy Scribe. There's not a lot to it. Most of these programs are pretty simple on the back ends, not too techy. I'm here in my dashboard. You can see I have folders. I have lots of videos on here, which is nice because I can organize them, keep them. So I can have these files. I tend to download them and keep them in my Google Drive with a copy of the video, because if I ever want to repurpose or use the video, I have it somewhere else and I have a copy of the subtitle file. So you'll hit upload a new file. Now you have two options. Subtitles and transcriptions are different. So they both go through and make a written text of your document. Transcription will come, it'll be like, say, a regular Word document, paragraphs of long text. If there's different speakers, they'll separate them out. Transcriptions are really great. So in the course creation world, we talk a lot about interviewing your audience and really, hey, Hershella, and really, when you interview your audience, sometimes you're going to want to save that information, look at the transcript, look and see what words are coming up. And when you do that, these programs like Happy Scribe and a couple other systems I'll tell you about are really great for being able to do that. I have also used them in the sense of sometimes my assistant will write up things, and I am better at speaking than I am writing. That's just my strong suit. So sometimes I'll say everything I need, I'll have it transcribed and send it over, and then she can go through and make edits and make corrections and stuff. So that's kind of the difference. Subtitles will also put special time markers, and this is the most important thing, why you can't just really take a transcription and be like, that's, now I have it. But Subtitles will, and I'll show them to you, they'll put in little time markers, because per the way that TVs work, there can only be so many characters on one line. And then usually subtitles are 2 lines. And when I say captions and subtitles, they are a little bit different, but honestly, if you do your subtitles, you'll be able to upload all your caption files. And that probably sounded very techy as I was saying, and I was like, this feels like a lot, but I'm just telling you, if you need captions, do the subtitles and they will work. This is how you do it. All right, so I'm going to hit subtitles because that's what we're doing today. You can pick, so you can, most platforms will allow you to, sync up your Google Drive or wherever you have it. I tend to store a lot on my desktop. So this is a short movie. So I click to upload it. While it's uploading, I have a couple options. So the language that's spoken in the video, not what you want the language to be. So I speak English. I'm going to click on use my vocabulary. So I preloaded things like my name, my business name, because they're spelled a certain way. So I preloaded things. So when the computer hears those words, it will know how I want them spelled and what those words are. So it's really great for you to be able to, if you use a lot of acronyms, to be able to sort of preload in some things. I will show you my dictionary in just a moment. And then I always click auto submit file once loaded. So once this gets to 100%, it will automatically submit it and be ready to go. Now you have 2 different services with Happy Scribe. They're automatic transcription. So it's ready in, I think, half the amount of time your video is. So this video is like 30 seconds. So like in 15 seconds, it will be ready. You'll notice it says 70% accuracy. The other one is professional. So if you're like, I don't have time to edit it, I don't want to do anything, I just want it done, you can pay for professional transcription. Here at Happy Scribe, it's almost $2 an hour. Rev.com, rev.com is another site that I use, and I think theirs run around $1.25 a minute. So, and it's very similar to this. All right, so I'm going to do the automatic ones today. We're going to hit submit, and then it's processing. I'll be able to check back. You can see right down here, move it up on the screen, it says working. So it's working on the automatic transcription. Now, if you have really good audio, if you can talk sort of fast like I do, but if you talk really clear, there won't usually be a lot of edits. I find that their accuracy sits way higher than 70%. I think their accuracy hits higher, like up in the 90s. But again, if you have a lot of things happening, as we have Fifi that sometimes barks and we have things going on, the accuracy will go down in those moments. So while this is processing, I'm going to head over here and show you a couple other things. I'm actually going to check back in. If you have questions while I'm presenting, just drop them in the box below and I will answer them. All right, so Happy Scribe, it does allow you to integrate. So as I talked earlier, you can hook up your Dropbox or, your Amazon, the S3 account. So that's where you can post your videos and stuff there. So you can attach these. I typically don't. I actually don't hook up a lot. I don't integrate a lot of things to my Google Drive because I keep a lot of things in my Google Drive, but I also, for security reasons, if one thing was hacked, then it just allows more to happen. So I tend to do a lot of work via my desktop. It's not very efficient, but for safety, it just makes me feel better. So you don't have to hook up these things, but it's nice to have the option of this. And this is a really great one, that fetch from YouTube. When it says the Zapier next to it, it means you have to use that app, which I don't think I've done a Tech Tuesday on, and I need to. But that app's kind of like, if you have two apps here and they want to talk to each other and they don't have like direct ability to do it. So sort of like Google Documents can talk to Google Excel, even though they're both Google, they're still different applications. They can talk directly to each other. So maybe your MailChimp can talk to your Google Drive, so some things can talk, but sometimes applications can't talk to each other without help, sort of a bridge. And Zapier is another application that bridges these two together. And it says, I can talk to you and I can talk to you. So if you send information to me, I'll provide it to this other app, and back and forth. And it basically links these two together. So that's what this program is. All right. I'm going to go down to my vocabulary so you can see. So a few things that I have said over and over again, I put in here. And even when I say like this IGTV, it will spell it exactly like you have it here. So I have my name in here, Eric. I have my part of my last name. I have my full name in here. I have things like Canva and Jotforms and Loom, which are all software programs that, because they're not standard English words, the systems won't recognize. So you can, I don't have a lot in here. You can add them all in there and save them. And then that way the computer, it'll just make it more efficient for you. All right, let's go back up because our video is probably done processing. Yep, here it is. It's this one right here. It says it's done. So I'm going to go ahead and open it up. Now, this is the most techie part of the whole thing. And it looks more techie than it really is. So please don't let this overwhelm you. But on the left here is the time marker. So remember when I said sort of how TVs were set up, how captions were set up, there's only so many character line spaces at the bottom of your screen. And no matter what screen you're on, it adjusts accordingly. But typically they sit in about 5-second chunks that the captions will come across the bottom and be seen and then go away. And they'll come just as they are here in the blue. So 2 lines. And it will sort of read verbatim what I said. Now, I encourage you as much as you can to go through and edit this, because sometimes the captions will say really funny and inappropriate things. Sometimes they're funny, sometimes they're inappropriate, and sometimes they're funny and inappropriate things. So just double check it. You don't want your brand to be out there and you have a wonky message in here. That being said, I do a lot of video work, so it gets really time consuming. So in all honesty, I don't comb through it with a fine tooth comb. I kind of do a quick scan of it and make sure that there's nothing glaring standing out. But this program will do things like this. And if it's in red, if it's not sure of what you said or that it heard right, or I think grammatically, it doesn't do a whole grammar thing, but it kind of is like, wait, my name's Erica, and you can fix it. So if I click on it, it turns it to black, or I can just go in and edit like you would edit any Word document. This video is so short. That's the only one I had in here. But in general, if you're like, oh, I'm still looking and it's not in red, but I feel like this is wrong, you can click on it and make the adjustments that you need. See, you can just make adjustments that you need in here. Now, if you're like, what in the world is being said? I've had it because I talk fast. Sometimes my words blur together. You can go in here and click play.
Hey, are you a coach or consultant who has tons of content that's sitting there, maybe in the cloud, in your head?
And then you notice, I hope you can hear it. You notice it changed to blue in the next section it was on. So that way you can go right to where it is to say, hey, is this what's being said in this section? And then you can make the adjustments as necessary. So really pretty easy to use. The couple other things I'm going to tell you is there's format subtitles. So you can go in and change, your color, especially if you're wearing a white shirt and you have white on here. So you can adjust that. I typically leave it all alone the way it is. And the other thing is you can go in here and edit your subtitle limits. I do not touch this because it's always set up perfectly. And I'm just going to say, I rarely say that, but it is always set up. And when you start messing with these settings, it can mess with how they appear on people's screens. If you want to adjust it down or up short, just a little bit, it's okay. But other than that, I would be really conscious. 2 lines is pretty standard in the industry for accessibility of what's out there. 1 is okay too, especially if you're doing like a creative type video where you want the captions on there, but you're emphasizing something. But 2 is pretty industry standard. 3 can be a lot. When you have on there, when it's coming up and trying to read it, it can also interfere with a lot, especially on the mobile version. So my suggestion is don't touch anything in here. Just edit your stuff. And then when you're done, you're going to click download here. It's going to download as an .srt file. So there's a lot of different software that you can do with your subtitles. I literally always click this top one. It works every time. You can download the video with the subtitles embedded in it. I don't do that. I tend to download my subtitles as its own file. So this would be a file like Microsoft Office or a text file. And then I go to upload it with my video. Now you're like, how do I do that part, Erica? And I'm going to talk about that. Oh, you can't see my screen because the dashboard is in the way. What's happening? Oh my gosh. And I just did that whole thing. You gotta love Tech Tuesday. Okay, hold on. Okay, wait. Let's see. Okay, 1 second, everybody. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna show you because I feel like it's really important. It's hard because Donna's like, Erica, she should be texting me in a minute. I know, Donna. I got you. Hold on. Yeah, I'm going to fix it. 1 second. I'm just going to share my whole screen and you'll be able to see the other window I go to. All right, look at this. I'm going to come back. I got you all, I promise. All right, so I'll come back. I'm going to show you guys how to do this because I don't want you guys to be lost and I'm so happy that you guys all stayed on here. So, all right, but I can't see both my screens at the same time. So I hope it's all good. Donna, if it's not good, you just text me and then my phone's sitting right here. All right. So this is what it looks like when you open it up. This is what I showed earlier. And usually I'm going to go into a different tab because I want you guys to see what it looks like when it needs to be edited. So hold on, because I edited the last file while we were sitting there. So I saw my text message go off. I was like, is that Donna? All right. So this is what it looks like when you open it up. And this is what I said was the most techie looking part of it all. On this side is where you can see the time markers. So those every 5-second chunks. I don't touch any of that. You can, but don't. What I want you to do is just go through and read your script here and look and see if there's anything that needs to be adjusted. Now, you'll see here the stuff in red that I mentioned earlier. So if it's not clear, like I probably said, my name's Erica and that my name is that, confused the system. So the clearer, I'm going to say, if you talk a little slower than me, it helps. It will make your transcriptions accuracy even higher. But when it's in red, you're like, yes, I did say my name is Erica. I click on it and then it's like confirmed. And if you're like, that's not right, you just type in what is right. My name is the Erica Clark-Alejo, right? If that's what you were to say. So you can easily edit this by just clicking and typing. And then on the right here is where I said that if you want to play back, so if you want to hear what's being said, so I'm going to click it.
Here is we work with high impact visionary leaders to help them create dynamic programming in their business.
And you can see that the blue changes because it's like it's on this section. So if there's an area like sometimes it gets a little wonky in the transcript and you'll go back and listen, and a lot of times you'll have to listen twice because if you might not even understand it and the system's having trouble picking up. But it's nice because you can hear it and then you can go back and confirm and see and make adjustments. The other thing is on this right-hand side, this is where I said I wouldn't touch anything. I really rarely do other than the play button. You can format your subtitles so you can change, maybe to match your branding a little bit better and all of that in here. And that's okay. I always just leave mine the way they come out. And then this edit subtitle limits, this is the one that I said you can pick between the 1, the 2, and the 3 lines, but I always leave the 2 lines here. So this is the one I was talking about, that 3 lines can be a lot. Sort of the industry standard is at 2 lines. So I leave that there. All right. And then when you're done, so you've gone through your whole script, look, there's some things in red. And look, I spelled it out here. I said THRIVEEPIC and it spells it out. So it's really great. It adds all of your ums and ands. And typically in deaf and hard of hearing world, they want to see if you're saying and there's a million of them here. Yes, you can go through the text and take them out, but deaf people really want the same experience that a hearing person gets, that you say a lot and they want to know that and that's okay. So don't feel like you have to go polish it up to be perfect and make it something that it doesn't match the video. I leave mine very organic. I leave mine really the way it is. I just go in and make sure that there's no typos or weird spelling things. And then on the top right-hand side, you can download the video with the captions in. So you can see they have them down here at the bottom. Or you can download the subtitles as their own file. And this is what I do. So I have a video file that I've uploaded into here, and I have my subtitle file that I get from this. So I just hit download. And then this is kind of a long transcription, so it's going to take a few minutes. I'm just going to X out of this because that's where I'm at. So I'm going to go back and see if there's any questions. Oh, good. And you guys must be able to see it because I'm already like, hey. So this is how you get your caption file. When say you're building a course and say you're working in Kajabi and you upload your video into Kajabi, there's a spot that says upload a caption file. And you click on that and it says, hey, give me your file. They have to be in that SRT format, and you upload it with it and it will magically put everything together. So the reason I say don't go adjust your timings is because if you go in there and you mess with those timings that we talked about, when people go to watch your videos, the subtitles won't come up at the proper time that somebody is talking about them, and you want them to match up. So that's sort of the quick down and dirty of how to get your subtitles. Again, the other program that I've used is rev.com. I've done it when I've needed, I don't have the time to edit the transcriptions myself, or my team doesn't, and I just want to send it off and have someone do it, I've used Rev. I've also used Rev when I've needed transcription services and wanted a person to do it until I found Happy Scribe. And I like Happy Scribe. I think they might be based in the UK, being that some of what I see in their stuff, I think that they're based over there. But there's other systems and stuff out there that will do it. We've talked before about Otter. And Otter will do some of the things, but not all of the stuff. So that's why I prefer Happy Scribe. So as mentioned at the beginning of the video, in case you didn't catch it, is this whole entire month, I'm going to be demoing out different stuff related to subtitles and subtitles, captions, transcriptions. So look for more stuff to come. I think next week, we're going to talk about how to put these into YouTube. So YouTube videos, they allow for auto captions. I'm going to show you how to do those for those of you who record directly into YouTube, how to take care of them while you're over in there, or how to take this file and put them in YouTube if you need to as well. And then we're also going to talk about editing software for, transcriptions that you have, and then a really cool way for people to be able to access sort of all of your files that you've created in this realm. All right, so that's what the month of Tech Tuesday looks like. So without further ado, again, thanks for being here. Thanks for being patient. Sorry you couldn't see the whole screen and I didn't see. I wish StreamYard would ding so I could hear that there's something going on when I'm not on the screen. But they didn't ask me to invent it. So, and the other great thing, so StreamYard is really cool because if you're in the Facebook group watching this, you can have your captions on. So, for those of you who need it, or it's StreamYard automatically does that for you, which I think is really a benefit as opposed to going live direct in Facebook. And it's one of the reasons that I do use an external platform so that the videos stay accessible as I'm recording them live. So with that, I hope you all have a great day, and I will definitely see you next Tuesday, if not before.